Greetings and welcome. And I have another extra special guest that you guys are going to love. That would be Laura Bennett from Spirit. Wait, I can't even remember. Anyway, how are you doing, Laura? From from Let Spirit Guide.
Hi, Adam. I
I
am really excited to be here. It's such a pleasure to connect with you and this community. So thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you, and I'm grateful that you are here and that you came on. So I have we'll flash Laura's information a few times as we go along, but there's her website and her YouTube channel. So Laura has a fairly new YouTube channel, yes, or
Yes, my YouTube channel is quite new. I think it's about a month old. I've done
wow.
some live streams and a few shorts.
Wow, excellent.
So,
Yeah, I saw a couple of shorts. In fact, I saw one today that you did 2 weeks ago. Anyway, let me
oh,
hide this. So, anyhow, Laura found me somehow, some way, through YouTube fairly early on. I think in 2020 or 2021. We're coming up to our 1 year anniversary, our 5 year anniversary, 1 year anniversary, our 5 year anniversary on June 21st. So we'll actually do mediumship on the channel on the 19th. So Laura found me. I don't know if it was through a comment on another creator's channel or could a few people found me that way because I like to watch videos and I drop comments and then people sometimes they find me and say, hey, I like what that guy has to say, so I'll check out his channel also, or however it happened. But you've been following us here on the Medium channel for a long time, and then our mutual friend Josh of Mr. Floyd's Universe channel actually has had Laura as a regular guest for almost a year, every Tuesday. Uh, and she does amazing readings. But we're going to get a sample of that later, so we're going to get a little bit of live information through her guides. And I believe you work with divination cards, tarot cards, and direct channeling and everything. So how did you get into all this in the first place?
well, Adam, I actually, at a very young age, realized that there was a higher power. I always felt connected to God, spirit, source, whatever you want to call it. And when I was just 5 years old, I used to get really bad headaches. And I
Mm.
realized if I moved my hands and created heat, I could feel energy. And if I waved my hands over my head, I could release the pressure. And as time went on, I just had more and more experiences with the spiritual realm. And my dad was very into the supernatural. He was into tarot cards. He didn't read professionally, but he would pull out his cards and he had a spirit board and he would introduce me to these things. So I've been really on a spiritual journey, I would say my entire life. But as far as any awakenings, I would say it wasn't until, well, I had an experience early on when I was in college, very similar to what you talk about, where you had this flash of, oh my goodness, everything we've ever been taught is wrong. I had a similar experience. I remember I was with, he was my boyfriend at the time, and we were having a conversation, and all of a sudden I just had this thought pop into my head. Imagine if everything we've ever been told is wrong. And I remember, him looking at me like I was crazy. And what do you mean everything we've been told is wrong? And, um, I kept searching for that connection. But one of the disconnects with me was I was always searching outside of myself. I had never heard of spiritual awakening. And in 2010 was when I had my first big awakening. And I ended up going through a dark night of the soul, which lasted a painfully long time. It was 5 years before I came out of that. And then I had another awakening, a significant awakening in 2020. And I saw your post online it was on Facebook that you were going to be doing a class called The Spirituality Behind the Message. And I remember signing up for that class, and it was at that time that you talked about you had just launched your YouTube channel. So I believe I missed your first live stream. You had done mediumship. I wasn't there for that, but I've been there for everything since then.
You sure have, yeah. That's a great story, and I'm willing to bet that relationship with that boyfriend didn't last too much after that.
Well, actually,
That did go on.
he ended up becoming my husband.
Oh, it's the same. Oh, your husband's on. Sorry
It's
about
not
that.
my current husband. This is my ex-husband. We did
Oh,
get
okay. It's not
married.
Patrick. Okay.
That's okay. We did get married, but he really, I used to tell him about my spiritual experiences, but he really just wasn't connected. Ours was more of a soul contract that I believe we had some lessons we needed to teach each other. I think we were meant to have our son. And beyond that, it was just a parting of ways. And, that's fine. It happened the way it was meant to happen.
Yeah, that's definitely pretty amazing. So you found me initially through Facebook. It wasn't through YouTube initially. Oh,
Right.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a great class. And Jared, who's I don't think he's on the live stream from Who the Channel. He was in that class, and I don't know if anybody else from the channel was in that class, but that was definitely really good and extra special. And then I actually got to meet Laura in person last summer at Spirit Fest. I was in Spirit Fest 2024, and we were talking off camera about it right before we came on, because it was one of these really interesting things that happened. Because I have this whole class planned. It was really going to be based on my power attunement system, which is something that I teach also, and I do classes on it. And it was 3 days before I was working in my notes, and the master teachers, that's the name of the group that works with me when I channel, just kind of came through and said, we're doing initiation. We're doing Sekhmet initiation. Sekhmet's the Egyptian lion goddess. I was like, really? It's like, yeah, we got this group together for that. Not what you thought it was. It was for that, basically. Laura was a really integral part of that. And I feel like myself and all of us included, we got the download, we got the initiation. And I don't know. I mean, I could be mistaken or seeing things through my own lens, so to speak. But it looks like you and a half a dozen other people, Millie was there, and a few other people were there also, really went and it just took off after that, which
Mm-hmm.
makes me really happy that this work is really helping people. As Jared basically went all around the world basically and somehow managed to do that. He's an amazing person, I must say, and an amazing spiritual teacher. And the other interesting thing is we just kind of have created this community, and I guess it sort of started with people that were watching the Medium channel, and
Mm-hmm.
it just kind of branched off into all these other communities, like Josh's channel, Mr. Floyd's Universe, and Jared and Millie has a YouTube channel, and some of the others, and just amazing to see how like we're creating this sort of network of spiritual awakening. We all have our own different specialties. So on that note, I'd be interested with what you might feel is your specialty. I mean, I know you do readings and channeling and healing. Is there anything
Mm-hmm.
you feel that you really have to offer the world, or the message you want to bring out to the world, or what you're hoping to do through your work and readings?
Well, really, one of the biggest things for me is just to bring people hope and bring them comfort through my readings and through my healings, because a lot of people are struggling. And I have been there. I mentioned that I went through a very long, dark night of the soul. When I went through the big awakening in 2010, by the end of that year, everything about my life had changed. I found myself to be jobless, homeless, friendless. Eventually, I became penniless, and I struggled for a long time. And I want people to know that they are not alone. I had no idea what spiritual awakening was. I didn't go on YouTube or the internet to look up, what's happening with me. So I went through it basically by myself. And it wasn't until 2015 when I was speaking with my son, and he said, "Mom, have you ever heard of Reiki?" And at the time, I hadn't. I never heard that term. I didn't know about energy healing. And he wanted to experience it. And little did I know that it was meant for me as well, because I made an appointment for him and I took him to see a woman who's local to us. And as soon as I walked in, something hit me and I said, I have to experience this. And it was after that Reiki treatment in 2015 that I felt just this love that I'd never felt before, this unconditional, unjudgmental love. And I would like to give that back to people.
That's beautiful. And, we all have these experiences. And, I went through, I had the awakening, it's like a flash of light. It's like everything's a lie. I have to learn the truth. It was beautiful and horrible at the same time. And I wound up spending some time in jail and
Mm-hmm.
experiencing homelessness too. Although I always had my family, my father, if the shit really hit the fan, I could always call on them. So it wasn't like some people experience. I have to be
Mm-hmm.
honest about that. But I did get a taste of it. And I always say that from our greatest challenges sometimes emerge our greatest gifts. And it sounds like you had that dark night of the soul. Now, 2010, a lot of people are starting to have awakenings. That's when we started to come into the prior solar max. We talk a lot about space weather, being that I'm a trained meteorologist, actually. So I learned a little bit about solar weather, about geology, and I've been incorporating that more and more into my videos lately too. But and the 2014 version of the solar max was actually underwhelming. It was a lower solar max, but still a lot of people had awakenings, and they noticed the style at that time was Kundalini awakening. So I don't know if you experienced that angle of things, but there's a year that I virtually didn't sleep. Like if I had a good night's sleep, it'd be 3, maybe 5 or 6 hours once in a blue moon. I call that the year I didn't sleep. I stopped my yoga practice. I stopped meditating because the energy
Mm-hmm.
surging through me was just so overwhelming. I just but I was working, I was functioning and everything. So it's really an interesting time. And now here we are, 2020. It wasn't yet the solar max, but it was like there's the COVID, there's the lockdown. Things were really changing a lot, and a lot of people were going inward. So I did a lot of my shadow integration work. Like I did a whole lot of like mother wounding work that I didn't even know that I had. So I went into it through Archangel Raphael. You work with the archangels too, no? Or
Correct. Yes, I do.
how does that work for you?
I find especially Archangel Gabriel has been really close to me. And I don't know if this has to do with my astrological sun sign, or perhaps that communication is part of my soul's path. So, working with Archangel Gabriel has been amazing. And then working with Archangel Raphael as well, because I had to go through a lot of healing. I had a lot of wounding. My childhood was very chaotic. There was I was scarred at a very early age, and realizing at some point that, one, on a soul level, this is what I chose, was really healing. And also to realize that I can heal myself. Like these wounds don't have to define me. Has been really amazing. So the archangels, I really didn't start working with them until I started following you. I would say that's when I got really serious about my path, because in 2015 I started some trainings and classes, but it wasn't until 2020 when Spirit told me it's time for you to get out there and you to offer your services. And I said, I don't even know where to begin. And I said, show me the way. And the next thing I knew, I saw your post on Facebook. So working with
Wow,
the archangels was through you.
I'm glad to be part of your evolution. And what an amazing thing. So you listen. That's the main thing. A lot of people get called, but not everybody listens, but you did.
Mhm.
Like um, New Year's Eve before 2020. That's when this my guide came through to start a YouTube channel. I said, "Yeah, what are you crazy? You see me on camera?" So I did reprogramming and train because we have to listen if we're going to be spiritual students and teachers. I feel like I'm both. I sort of
Mhm.
facilitate spiritual teaching, when I'm on YouTube or when I'm leading a class or whatever. But in reality, we're all students, right? We're all growing and evolving every day.
Right.
And, a really good exercise that I like to do is in the morning, just in my mind, like, and I learned this from a martial arts movie because I came into this from martial arts. There's originally called The Silent Flute, then it became known as Circle of Iron. So Bruce Lee died. He was going to have the starring role in that movie. David Carradine got it instead. But one of the lines from the blind teacher was, every day when I wake up, I prepare a blank, I erase everything and prepare a blank blackboard for the day's lessons to write upon. And that line like really hit me as an
Mhm.
amazing thing. And so you probably do something similar. Do you have like a morning routine that really gets you sort of ready and amped for the day, or gets you more connected to spirit?
Yes, I have been a member of Rebecca Campbell, who
Oh,
creates
yes.
the Oracle decks. She has a membership group, and she gives lots of meditations, soul journeys through her membership group. And one of the things that she has is called AM meditation. And then there's also a PM meditation. And the AM meditation is really about connecting to that solar energy. It's waking yourself up. It's feeling the light. And it's also gratitude. It's being thankful for that good night's sleep you had
Mm.
and being thankful for everything. So it really kind of raises my vibration and sets the tone for the day. And then throughout the day, I do various meditations. One of the big things that I'm working on now is healing and regulating my nervous system because I have had a lot of anxiety. I've had panic attacks, various phobias, and the tapping meditation. And I found this through, it's called Tapping Solution. I believe it's Nick Ortner and Jessica Ortner had developed this app, and the tapping really it grounds me, it centers me, and it really balances out my nervous system.
That's good. I think I need to do that, some like vagus nerve stuff and tapping
Mhm.
EMF and stuff, because we're all empaths here, right?
Mhm.
Natural empaths. There's different kinds of empaths. Some teachers talk about the types that are really like have a lot of childhood wounding and really had to be very open to the higher chakras to navigate their world and everything. But I believe some people come into the world just there's all different kinds of humans, right? And no one's better than the other. But some people come in with just a very heightened nervous system, very sensitive
Mhm.
energies, and there's a certain mission, and so we have to do things to help to regulate and balance that. And grounding, of course, is one of the things that I teach. Of course, heart brain coherence as well is a really amazing thing. But what I found is that recently, just like it's been building, but just the last couple weeks, there's just this kind of undertone of anxiety that I feel like when I fall asleep. I really have to do my breathing because then I feel like anxiety. When I wake up, even when I'm doing my morning meditations, it'll creep in. And I know it's the collective. I know big things are about to happen and everything. So it's really good to develop these tools. And I don't know if you've been experiencing something similar and you have any tools that you've been using lately to maybe cope with these changing times.
Yes, I have been experiencing the anxiety quite a bit. Same as you. It'll hit me, just various times throughout the day or when I first go to sleep, getting ready for sleep. So I find I really need to I do like body scanning, which I've learned this in Reiki, is to scan your body for any energy fluctuations. And then if I need to, I'll just perform Reiki on myself. to balance out the energies, release anything that's not mine. Protection also is a big one at this time. And I liked what I believe it was Heather Istara showed us last year at Spirit Fest when I attended, where she brought up visualizing the golden light. And I can't remember, I would have to look it up now, what order she put them in. But she also said, if there are times when you know that you're going to be in a situation where there's going to be a lot of energy and you just don't want that to penetrate, you can even put the lead shield around you. And I find in some situations that helps a lot.
I remember when she did that. Heather's going to be back this year also to do
Oh, that's
some work at
wonderful.
Spirit Fest
Mhm.
2025. That's going to be Escape the Matrix retreat. Unless I think the master teacher are always working. They're laughing. No, we're not going to change the formula on you this year. So that's really what we're going to do, because the Matrix is, the way I see it, it's our classroom. It's not our
Right.
it's not a negative thing. It's just whether we live in a computer simulation, or it's more the spiritual matrix, like Maya, like the ancient Vedics taught us. This is navigating and rediscovering who we are is really a big part of this. So I've got, by the way, Laura's website up and her YouTube channel. So please subscribe. You won't be sorry. And Laura does a lot of great work with spirit, does a lot of good healing work, good message work, basically, which we will get into in a few minutes here. So we're going to be treated to some really good energy here. So let me go back into the comments for a second. Just an interesting thought came up on my mind, and maybe it's relevant, but I don't know if you've ever felt called to say, like, work on the land, or connect with like nature, like ley lines and stuff, and
Mhm.
with the trees. I mean, maybe I'm picking up on something intuitively, because that's would be something
Yeah,
I don't know about you yet. We're going to do a lot of that at Spirit Fest 2025 too. I'm kind
very
of
nice.
aimlessly plugging as I'm interviewing, but that's okay.
Mhm. Ley lines have really fascinated me, and grid work, crystal grids, definitely. And I believe that we are all based, our home base is where it is for a reason, but we're meant to spread that energy. So that I think that's exciting. And I will definitely be at Spirit Fest, and um,
Yeah, I think you
hopefully
signed up
many
already,
others.
right? Or
Yes, I did. Yes, I
yeah, I
signed
think I
up.
get the list from Yana. Yeah, I think there's 5 in so far, so we're
Very
about
nice.
half full or close to it. But
And it looks like Brooke is signed up. I see her
yep,
comment
Brooks
here.
coming. Yep,
She says, I can't wait until Spirit Fest 2025. Very exciting, Brooke. I met her last year as well. Exciting.
the dragon girl. Yeah, that girl
Mm.
gets so many dragons on her photos. It's just like they
Oh,
follow her
wow.
around, and there've been a few around here. I believe in all of this. I feel them and the extraterrestrials. By the way, what's your take on Starseed? I know that you have connections to other
Hmm.
beings. Like, I could see it in you, so I'm just curious.
Well, I definitely believe that we are all star seeds. I believe that we have all incarnated multiple places throughout this wide universe, and we've incarnated many times. As far as me personally, I know that I have done some inner work and regression, and I have connections to Lemuria and Pleiadian star seeds. And I do believe that they are working with us. They're trying to assist us with our awakening and our ascension. And I think it's just, I think they've been here all along. It's just a matter of us becoming aware that they are here. Because um, I don't think that I'm special in any way, that, oh, I can connect to these beings and you can't. I believe that we all can. We just have to open up. So I think we're all star seeds and we're all special.
That's pretty much my take on things. Absolutely. So, in any event, so I flashed the website earlier. So you do private sessions too, right? And
Correct.
then every Tuesday on the channel. Let me get the information back up. On the Let Spirit Guide channel. Oh, you guys have been active on the comments. I have to go way, way up here. Every Tuesday, she'll come in and she'll do a very nice spiritual reading for you on Tuesday evenings. I think the way you do, because you get too many people now, you just have to kind of do like almost like a grab bag or something, or
Yes. Yeah.
pick a number.
I do as many readings as I can, but I find that after an hour, my energy starts to dip, and I never want to sacrifice someone's reading because I'm tired. So, I do as until I feel my energy's dropping. So on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern on my YouTube channel, I go live. I do a group message, and then I do open it up for personal readings. And then I do a quick pick a card. So that way everyone gets a personal message. All you have to do is follow your intuition, and you'll know which card is meant for you.
Yeah. That's the name of the game. So we know that we're in a changing world. There's a lot that's going down, a lot of the old systems. But it's also a spiritual renaissance is happening as well, which is part of the reason why everything's happening the way that it is. Oh, you know what
Mm-hmm.
popped in my mind? I don't know if you've been thinking along this lines, if I'm picking something up through spirit, but they're showing writing also. And I don't know if you have like a book idea or anything like that, or
Oh
you
my
want to do
goodness.
any writing or
I have had a book in my mind for quite a while. I haven't actually started writing. Well, no, that's not true. I've written some paragraphs. I used to journal quite a bit. I do need to get back into it. So that could be spirit telling you to tell me to start journaling again.
yeah, because I think, yeah, I mean, my sense is you're going to gather a lot of experience as you're doing your readings, and as you know you're expanding and teaching and doing more stuff. So yeah, journaling and then making a book out of that. I could see something like that. So what I was going to ask is, if you have any like insights of where we're going as far as humanity, or say like you're doing work that you're probably being guided by spirit, because you're our Let Spirit Guide, right? So
Mhm.
we practice what we preach, right? So where do you
Correct.
feel spirit's guiding you? Like this is like part of the journey, right? We always want to be present in the journey, not like hyper
Mhm.
focus on some hypothetical destination, right? So, but it's always good to have a goal in mind or vision in mind as well. So I'm just wondering, like,
Yes.
where you
So,
see your work, how that's going to be helping humanity, where you see humanity's
mhm.
going and everything. Because you're definitely doing this for a reason at this time. There's definitely like it's almost like putting the pieces of the puzzle together and creating this beautiful tapestry now.
I believe that spirit is using me, and my soul has signed up to lead people on their spiritual awakening, to bring people back to a remembrance of who they are, a remembrance of their their worth and their abilities and their connection to source. Because I always tell people that spiritual awakening is not about developing psychic abilities or special abilities, that is just a byproduct. Your spiritual awakening is about reconnecting to your soul and to source. And once you strengthen that connection, and it takes time. If I look back on my awakenings, I really wish I had had a teacher sooner. If that's the one thing that, well, I wouldn't want to change it. I don't want to change anything about my experiences, because I don't think I would have the wisdom that I have, and I wouldn't be where I am. But I don't want others to have to go through what I went through. It was lonely, it was hard, and if we're meant to go through a dark night of the soul, we're going to go through it, but I don't want anyone to feel alone. So I believe that spirit's using me to assist others in their awakening. And as far as where I see humanity going, that's a tough one. I
Loaded
think it
question.
I think it's going to get harder before it gets better, unfortunately. But I do think that people are awakening. It's just not happening as quickly as we would like it to. So, in general, things will get tougher out there. But as far as the awakening souls, things are going to get better for us. And we can assist others and we can help to accelerate the awakening here on this planet.
Absolutely. That sounds right on with me also. And we've been telling people be patient. It's going to take time. Things,
Mhm.
it's kind of like humanity set this table. We got to partake in it, even if it's hard, in order to move past it, basically. And I remember, it's like I think 2022. I go to like these different faceless channels on YouTube, and all saying the same thing. 2022 is the year we're going into 5D. Everything's splitting. I'd be like, no, no, it's a process. It's not going to happen
Mhm.
that way. You got to be patient. Again, be present in the journey. We'll never get to the destination if we're not present in the journey. If we're not present
Right.
in the now, and if it's hard and it's ugly, it is from the perspective of a healer and a sensitive person like yourself and me. It's hard to see this, but we have to be strong. We have to be spiritual warriors in a way, to be tough. So we're grounded, and there's a difference between like compassion and pity, because pity is feeding the lower vibration, and compassion comes with an understanding that this has to happen, so I'm going to ease the suffering as best as I can, rather than try to take the suffering away and then rob somebody their karmic process by doing so. I know
Mhm.
you understand that, and I'm just saying this up because I know this is how Laura works. And that, and speaking of which, I think it's time. If you're ready, would you like to do some reading for
I
us?
would love to. I will do a group message for us. I swapped
Great.
out some of my decks. So, well, I guess I can start with a general message here for the group. This is from the Starlight Oracle deck. And just to get a general message overall, let's see what comes through for this group. And I'm seeing this card here. So our message is limitless. Spirit says, know your worth. And this is what this card looks like. So everyone here, just remember that you are limitless. Your abilities, your power, your worth, it goes way beyond anything you could ever imagine. And I like to use, this is the Ancient Stones Oracle. This is by Rebecca Campbell. And I'd like to get a message from our soul for this group. So let's see what comes through. I just recently started working with this deck, and I just find the artwork and everything so beautiful. Rebecca Campbell just has a very soft, peaceful presence about her, and it really comes through in her cards. So let's get one card for the group. Okay. The Egg Stone. Feminine power, embodiment, and fertility. And this is what this looks like. So, the egg, what does an egg do? An egg hatches. So, a lot of us in this group here have some ideas, some goals, some things that we're working on manifesting. And Spirit's telling us that you are close, to keep going. Now is not the time to give up, because your ideas, your alignment are fertile right now. So hang in there. I know it's not an easy process. I'm often reminded of another card in the tarot. Whenever I see the Seven of Pentacles, I think about how we live in a dense reality, but we're souls, we're spirit having a human experience. So we're used to things manifesting quickly like that in the spirit realm. But we have to be patient here. We have to be patient on Earth. Things will happen. They just don't show up as quickly as we would like them to. So this egg stone is really just embody that vision that you hold, become that person, become that belief, really fully live it. And let's see what we are manifesting, as a group. And this is the Psychic Tarot Oracle by John Holland. So let's get one card for the group. What are we manifesting? And I am seeing this one here. Spirit saying this is the card. Okay, hope. Oh, and this is beautiful. This is like the star card in the traditional tarot. So we're manifesting that fulfillment, that breakthrough, that hope. And I also see, the hands here holding the light. Spirit is saying, be the light. That the light that you are looking for is not out there. You are that light. So be strong, hold the light, have faith, because you will be fulfilled. Your time is coming. And that ties in very nicely with that egg stone card from Rebecca Campbell. And then I'm just going to use the Rider Tarot to see how we can align with that energy of hope. So let's get one card here for the group. How can we best align with that energy? And I see this one here. Okay, the Wheel of Fortune. So what Spirit is saying here is that know that everything, what goes up must come down, and what goes down goes back up. That it is a cycle. Our life is a cycle. Not everything lasts forever. So if you have been in the season of inner work, know that your time to step out and shine is coming, because I feel that a lot of us in this group have been going within, and that is wonderful. Going within is the foundation. However, all the intuition in the world won't do you any good until you act on it. So know when it is time to take action. And I see good fortune coming in for a lot of people. So in order to align with that vibration and energy of hope and light, keep your vibration high, count your blessings, really give thanks for everything that you have. And I also see a lot of wisdom here. Some of us are wisdom keepers in this group. So it may be time for you to step out and share your story. Share all that you have learned. Don't underestimate yourself, because going back to the beginning, you are limitless. Know your worth. Every single person here, I have been in this situation of not knowing my worth, of having so much self-doubt, of speaking to myself in the most horrible ways. But just know that that is just your ego. That is your programming talking. You are limitless. You are worthy. Nothing you have done can disconnect you from Source. Source loves you. God loves you. You are meant to be here, and you are worthy. And let's get another message. Let's see what angel wants to come through and work with this group. This is Radley Valentine's Angel Affirmations. So let's get one card for the group. And I saw this one here first. This message comes from Archangel Metatron. Call upon me for grounding and assistance in manifesting your personal goals with confidence. And that fits in so nicely with the egg stone and hope in the Wheel of Fortune. It is your time. And if you're not sure what actions to take, call on Metatron. And the affirmations that you can use: I am present and focused. My powers of manifestation are unlimited. And this is what the affirmations look like. And now if you would like to participate, we can do a quick pick a card as well. So if you would like to participate, choose either the number 1, 2, or 3, and we will see which angel number message comes through for you. This will be your personal message. Your personal message. So choose the number 1, 2, or 3. And let's see. Okay. I see 1, 2, and Spirit is saying this one for 3. Okay. So if you chose number 1, your number is 99. It is time to get to work on the realization of your soul's mission in life. You have a higher purpose in this life that is yours and only yours to fulfill. Unleash your true power. And the affirmation on this card is, I am courageous. 99. And that really speaks to me personally. My birthday is 99. And I'm not sure if Suzette is here, but Suzette shares the same birthday as me. So that really resonates. If you chose number 2, your number is 333, and this is another one that resonates with me because I am a life path 3, and I have seen the number 3 in combination of 3 since I was very, very young. So 333, you are being called upon to use your spiritual gifts as a light worker, assisting all of humanity. Live your truths and be a positive light to others. And your affirmation is, I am powerful. And if you chose number 3, your number is 24. You have a heart of gold and are very skilled at maintaining balanced, stable relationships. You are loyal to your loved ones and are able to be the nurturer, protector, and provider all at once. And your affirmation is, I am generous. So that is what I have for you. I do offer personal readings and personal healings. Adam put my website up earlier, so you can feel free to contact me through my website, which is www.letspiritguide.com. And I am wishing you all so much love, so many blessings. I hope you stay high vibrational, that you stay protected, that you stay loved. And as always, let Spirit guide.
That was beautiful. And a lot of people went for 3, including me. I got 3. So the 24th, that's my birthday. 9/24 is
Oh,
my
wow,
birthday.
Adam.
So I was like, oh, I picked the right one for me. Yep. That was great. Thank you so much for sharing all of your wisdom and knowledge. And we have on the screen for you Laura's website and her YouTube channel. And if you want to get personal readings again, and she does that Tuesday evenings at 7:00 at Eastern time. And then if you want to book a private reading, then go to the website and other services. I don't know if you do crystals or jewelry or any of that stuff. That's more Chloe, but
Yeah, Chloe does the crystals. So Chloe's crystals, everyone. I
yeah,
highly
Chloe's
recommend them.
crystals if you need crystals. Yep.
Yes.
And
So
very good. So thank you so much. And thanks everybody that came in. And we will, not this month, but in July, I'll have either 1 or 2 new guests on, new amazing guests. So we have a lot to choose from in our community. And of course, if you're new to the Medium channel, please subscribe here also. And we did today we uploaded a meditation for these stressful times with the master teachers for healing. So that's the latest on the Medium channel. All right, I think it's a wrap then.
yes, thank you so much for having me,
My
Adam. This
pleasure. Thanks for being such a terrific guest and sharing all of your wisdom and knowledge with us. And thank you, everybody, for stopping in. We love you. Let Spirit guide.